Hey everybody, welcome to DadsDen of Pop Culture and Mighty Thor Monday with Thor number 346 from August of 1984. What do we got here on the cover? Well, we got Thor. We know that. We got Mjolnir. And then we got all these little puppies. Thor's playing with puppies. Well, if you watched the last video, you can probably figure out that that is the Wild Hunt. All right. Where do we begin? Well, first of all, we begin with story and pencils, Walter Simonson, inks, Terry Austin, lettering, John Workman Jr., coloring, Christy Scheel, editing, Mark Greenwald, editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter. The Jim Shooter years. He was not always popular with some of the people who worked for him, but he did a damn fine job at Marvel Comics back in the day. So, nighttime, New York City. Roger Willis. Well, wait a minute. Now, that's not Dr. Willis. We saw what happened to him. This is an older guy. Obviously related. Okay. Roger Willis, inhabitant of Roslyn, Long Island, walks the streets of Greenwich Village, heading for the west side of Manhattan Island. And he's worried. Now, this is a guy, says right here, Korean vet. He's worried, though. He's made a lot of changes, cars, taxis, this and that. So he can't be followed. But he still isn't so sure that somebody is not on to him. And in fact, this guy asks him for a light. He gives him a light and he is immediately attacked. But this dude can fight. This guy can fight. Now, this is the 80s. So Korean War, basically right around 1950. So it would have been about 34 years ago. So you figure this guy, he could be in, his 50s, late 50s, something like that. But he's a scrapper. And he does manage to take these guys out and get away. But that tells us, oh yeah, he is being followed. They're on to him. We see momentarily Thor with that lawyer saying, he's got to find this guy. He's got to find this Dr. Willis. Obviously, a little late for that. And he does get shown a picture of him. And off he goes. There is no time to lose. Hulk, love, Cookie Crisp. Just had to get that in there. We do see for a moment Lorelei. Lorelei is in a bar, driving some guys crazy. Okay. But what we find out is one of the guys there works for Malekith. And he's going to make a call because she has mentioned Thor. So Thor is about. So he calls back in to let them know that. Thor, over the skies, according to Mr. Strother, yonder's the precinct station I seek. Okay, so they figured out where he was being held. Thor goes to visit while this guy is still on his way to the site. In fact, he's right now at the subway exit of 8th Avenue and 23rd Street. Hey, look it up on Google Maps. You can maybe find it if it's real. And so he's still looking for this package, this hidden thing, this Casket of Ancient Winters, while Thor arrives at the police station. And they trick Thor into eating one of the cookies. Oh my goodness. Even now your knees begin to buckle, and you cannot remain in your chair. My limbs grow weak. I cannot stand. What have you done to me? I have made you one of us. You have tasted the enchanted food of Faerie, and no longer is your will your own. I cannot rise. Oh boy. In a moment, your struggling ego shall be submerged forever, and you will live only to serve the master, even as we, who have already tasted the fruits of the fairy realm and become mortal, servants to the Dark Elf. Now Malekith, the Dark Elf, shall laugh to learn that the son of Odin is his slave forever. But count yourself lucky. You, at least, live. Malekith himself has slain the hated enemy, Eric Willis. And when he has recovered the Casket of Ancient Winters, then shall his servants step forth from their cloak of secrecy, and great will be our glory. And Thor's like, all right, that's enough. Smacks the hammer. He's like, you fools, you think that I'm not a human. That fairy food is not going to do that to me. I'm a little bit more than that. So he strikes lightning, knocks all these guys out. He does not want to kill them because, it's not their fault that this has been done to them. Perhaps there is a way to break that curse. But he now knows that Dr. Eric Willis is dead. and Malekith is going after the Casket of Ancient Winters. And here is that very casket as it's found on a construction site. It's sort of a half-finished, what do they call it? The West Side Highway. This is right around, I think, 29th Street, they say. So he has found this thing. It's cold to the touch, but he says, look, I'll admire it later. Puts it into this Macy's bag so people don't realize what he's doing. And here comes Malekith, soon after, to find that the casket has slipped through his fingers. Not good. Well, Thor is on the case. We have this guy in a taxi trying to get across the 59th Street Bridge, but it's like, I think they said it's like a Friday. The theater crowds are out. The bridge is completely packed. He ain't going nowhere, apparently. And what happens but the Wild Hunt is called in to find the casket. And they track it down onto the bridge. He makes a run for it. Now, this is a smart guy. Oh, by the way, we get a Holy Hannh. That is classic Marvel. But this guy, smart, he has a gun with bullets with steel casings, because iron is effective against the Fae. So he was warned in the letter what he needs to do. And in fact, the Wild Hunt attacks, and he opens fire, and he takes a few of them out. There's a lot more than that. And who's this riding on top of that one beast? I believe that is, in fact, Malekith himself. Oh, no, that's the Master of Hounds. Well, maybe it is Malekith. I think we find that out later. Let's flash over to Balder. Truly the brave, because he sees this woman out in the middle of this desert being attacked by this giant monster, a sand devil, he says. And forgetting everything else. Remember, he went out in that desert to just, to end it all. He didn't want to live anymore. But he sees a woman in danger, grabs this stick, this log, and goes straight into battle against that monster. And the man who's been following him, who wants, to end him, as he says, the man he happily would slay, he sees him charge into battle against this thing, and he's like, whoa. Perhaps the stories of his bravery and prowess in the past are not so exaggerated as I thought. He's impressed. Well, this man is fighting hard against these, Fae. And then, boom, Thor arrives. Oh, in fact, there in fact is Malekith. Okay, so it was Malekith. I was right about that. And we get a bit of a battle with Thor and with this fella, and over the casket. It's a real sockdolager. Some great stuff in here where we get a good shot of Malekith. So they're fighting these things off, but it's endless. It's endless. How are they going to survive? And then we flash again to a different place. Elsewhere, beyond the fields we know, a mighty host stands to arms, and a voice as old as time cries out, "Sons of Muspel, daughters of fury, demons of the flame, our time has come. Sound the battle cry, that all who live may hear it and despair." And the land of fire explodes with doom. All right, let's focus in a little bit on this. And at this point, we're going to reveal the name of this guy, because the Muspel should give it away to a lot of people. It is Surtur, the fire demon. And Surtur is going to destroy Asgard. And over here, Secret Wars figures, who would never destroy Asgard. Well, maybe the bad guys would. So the battle continues, and again, they're hard-pressed. And Thor suddenly realizes why that guy's got, iron. So what does he do? He grabs a big hunk of the bridge and tears it off and throws it right into the side of Malekith. "I am wounded, and surrounded as I am by that accursed metal of men, I can no longer remain to finish the hunt. But think not that Malekith is defeated, nor that the Casket of Ancient Winters can be denied me forever. You will regret the day that you came between the Wild Hunt and its prey. They're turning, Thor. The dogs are turning. Malekith has departed the field of battle. But what they're going to find out is that Malekith indeed had a plan B. What was that plan B? Well, that operative of his let him know about this woman in a bar who claimed to have something going on with Thor. It is Melody, i.e. Lorelei. And Malekith shows up at her door. And he is going to take her, perhaps? Well, let's see. Well, after the battle, Sigurd gets to her apartment with Mr. Willis, who still has the casket there. And she finally pours him the drink of golden mead. And he drinks it, and that means he is now under her control. But there's more, because, well, here she is pouring, and here she is with Malekith. What on earth does that mean? It means that really wasn't her. It was merely a piece of wood glamoured to look like her. Okay? And he says, bring the Casket of Ancient Winters. This is Malekith speaking through. For only that will buy the freedom your lover is now denied. Bring the casket, or she will languish in wretched servitude forever, 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 forever. Kind of makes me think of the Sandlot. That was Malekith's voice. How he learned a melody, I know not, but he shall regret his heinous act. I shall not rest until I have rescued her, no matter what the cost. On the eye of my father, so swears Thor. So Thor is now enchanted. He's bewitched by Lorelei, but he also has to bring the casket to Malekith to rescue her. Now, of course, Thor would want to rescue her anyways. He's a good guy. But is this his nobility speaking, or is it the fact that he is enchanted? We have Willis back there with his Macy's bag containing the casket. So, Thor 346, second story in this Malekith arc that ties into the Surtur arc. That is the sort of big epic that Simonson was weaving. And I'll say, while I was saying that, I heard noise. We're finally getting some rain here in Las Vegas. Feels appropriate for a story about the Casket of Ancient Winters. It's cold. It's a little rainy outside. But we will see what happens in the next issue. But again, Simonson does such a great job. I mean, not only with the art, it's gorgeous, but with weaving this tale, using these different story arcs, but they're all tying in to something, and they're all important to it, and they interact with each other, and then the bits with Balder, etc. Such a good job of juggling all these things. So we'll see what he has in store for us next issue. If you have any comments, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you think of this one. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there. Read some mighty Thor. And I will see you again, hopefully soon, in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.